All right, so let's get started. Welcome to webinar 2. A lot of good stuff to go through today, fun stuff to work around, and I'm noticing that some of y'all are already starting to land sales, and that's incredible. I mean, we haven't even really gotten off the ground yet, and we've got people already landing sales. So we'll talk about that more in just a moment. To get us started, what I'd love to do is I'm going to go around the room, and if you would introduce yourself again. Who are you? Where are you? And if you can, 15 or 20 seconds, give me a little fun fact about yourself. Something that I mean, we don't know each other that well, but this helps each other get to know one another. So your name and location, and a little fun fact about yourself. So let's see, John, Boynton Beach. Let's go.
All right, I'm the COVID kid today. I'm just getting on the backside of this. After going through everything, I never got it. My wife, who's a nurse, never got it. We just got slapped with it last week, so I'm just on the backside, a little loopy. Living in Boynton Beach, as Jesse knows, and I don't know if it's a fun fact, but I got my pilot's license back in '98 out of Lantana Airport. And I was the first student of an Irish instructor. And I got a call from him, oh God, in the middle of 2000 at some point. And he told me that a guy that I cut off looking at radar was Muhammad Atta, the guy who flew into the World Trade Center. And if I remembered it, and I didn't remember it, but he did, because he gave him lessons and he thought it was funny that he never wanted to learn how to land until he realized what had happened. So I guess I was a couple of degrees from World Trade and didn't even know it. But apparently I ticked the guy off, but I don't remember him. That's the only fact I can get. Not so fun, but just kind of quirky.
That's a quirky fact for sure. Patrick, how about you?
Hi there, Patrick Shanahan. I'm in the Northeast San Antonio area. I'm with the DA with Jennifer and Gabriel Sentry. And fun fact, well, I kind of just moved out in this area, and this kind of what they call the hill country of Texas, beautiful area. We basically, my wife and I moved out here because this is the place we always came to visit and for vacation. So we finally moved out here. We were living in Houston, which is only about 3-4 hours away. But anyhow, it was a big move for us. So that's kind of a fun fact there, because it's a great place to kind of get outdoors and hang out, kayak and camp and hike. So that's the great part about this area.
Nice. David Tanner.
Good morning, everyone. David Tanner here in Las Vegas West, and big fan of animals. I breed all kinds of animals, birds, reptiles, exotic animals mostly. Been in Vegas for 20 years and looking forward to absorbing as much as I can from the rest of the knowledgeable team members. So thank you all.
Nice. Fun. I like that. Timothy. Let Timothy take himself off mute.
Hi, Tim Lucero in Syracuse, New York. Working with Brad Hawkins up here. Fun fact is that both my son and myself played goalie in college. He's currently still doing that.
Nice. I love it. Let's see, Grant.
Hello, everyone. Grant Carter. I am here in the corporate Atlanta office. I'm part of the corporate team, and I will be working with all of you at some point as you work through the scalability, division of FCI. So we're really looking forward to that over the course of the next months and years. Fun fact about me, I've got 4 kids. In the last 4 months, I've had my first grandchild, and I've got my second one graduating college, and 2 more still in college. So I'm in a very dynamic stage of life, but enjoying every minute of it. So thanks very
Love it.
much.
I love it. Clayton.
Clayton Biggs here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Here with Scott Grisham. Fun fact about me, in 2007, I don't know if you guys can see this, my arm was actually considered amputated. They told me I would never use it again. Then about the next 2 years, I was able to get back to playing golf full time. So overcome that.
So if you don't mind me asking, what caused the amputation?
So I don't know if you remember last week, I stated I was an underground coal miner for 19 years. I got caught in an auger running about 1,200 RPMs.
Wow. Okay. Well, hopefully this is a lot safer than that.
Yeah, I think it will be.
Good stuff. All right, John Hester.
Hey guys, John Hester, Duluth, Georgia. Back in let's see, 93, I'm a big Tar Heel fan. One of my best friends was a cheerleader for the on the basketball team, and we were able to celebrate the championship with the team. So that was pretty awesome.
Nice. Good stuff. All right, Jesse.
Morning, everybody from Denver, Colorado. I'm with Mick McKinney. Fun fact about me, I moved from the beach country of Florida to the mountain country of Denver, Colorado to enjoy the outdoors throughout the year instead of just in winter.
I love it. I love it. All right, Mike, I know we've been playing with your camera. Let's see if you're still there, go ahead and introduce yourself again.
Mike Conrad with here in Louisville, Kentucky, the eastern Louisville part. Just came on here with Charles a few weeks back, Charles Sinclair. Fun fact about me is I am getting married this September, so that's what I'm looking forward to.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Nice. Kelsey.
Hi, y'all. I'm Kelsey Thompson in Tyler, Texas, working alongside my husband, John. We're both co-owners. Fun fact about me is I'm quite the spontaneous thrill seeker. So I've been skydiving, and I can't wait to check another dive off my list.
I don't jump out of airplanes, so enjoy that.
John won't join me either.
Amelia.
Hello, everyone. Amelia Lovato. I'm in Roseville, California, working with Emilia Navedo. Fun fact about me, I guess I could use today's my birthday, so that's fun fact there, 27 years old. And another is just that my biological father, is a Hall of Fame boxer, Ray Lovato.
Really?
Happy birthday. Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Nice. Let's see, Michael Forte.
Hey, everybody. I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm a franchise owner in the West Metro Atlanta area. Fun fact about me, I have a 2.5-year-old and a 1-year-old, I guess. Nothing too exciting about me.
I like it. I like it. Armando.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Estoy en Orlando, la Florida. My manager is, the owner is Josefina Beretta. And I know you thought I was going to say the whole thing in Spanish.
We can do it.
Fun fact about me, I used to own a flooring company here locally in Orlando for over 5 years. I hurt my lower back, and now I am doing, joining the Floor Coverings International and sales as a designer associate.
Nice. Well, welcome. Love to. I'm glad that you're there with Josefina. It's good for you to be with her. It's good. Let's see. How about Alyssa?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Alyssa Brown. I am here in Spokane, Washington under Bree and Carter Stevenson. Little fun fact about me. So I'm kind of like Kelsey. I'm a little bit of an adrenaline junkie, but at the same time, I'm a sports head. So I actually started learning how to sports bet when I was about 13 years old with my dad. It's one of the things that we share in common. And both of us got into the sports world and got out of it for severe injury reasons. I had scholarships to Oregon State University for volleyball on a full ride, and then I tore my rotator cuff in my right shoulder. So then they said, I don't want you anymore. And I'm a tough head, so I decided I'm not going to get the surgery and I'm going to try and come back. And I can no longer play like professional level like that, but I have joined a couple of teams and leagues around Spokane, and we do pretty well.
I love it. I like that. I like that determination. Let's see, Azam.
Hi everyone, my name is Azam Salaime. I work with Own Kashaji in Lawrenceville, Georgia. One fun thing about me, I like outdoor activities, mostly camping. I love to do camping, and any other related sport is a go for me.
Fun stuff.
Thank
Fun
you.
stuff. Richard Weaver.
Hey everybody, I'm Richard Weaver out here in South Lake, Texas. Fun fact about me, I have broken my neck twice. I have, 3 plates, 12 screws in my neck. So.
All right, so we're not letting you in the same bus as Clayton. Y'all don't get on the same bus together. All right, let's see. How about Ashley? If you can do this without pulling off the road.
Yeah, and I'm about to get where I'm going, actually. I'm cruising around in my mobile showroom right now to pick up some products at the Shaw warehouse. So just working double multitasking here. I am the owner down here in Long Beach, California. So in between LA and Orange County. Sunny, as always. And I don't know, fun fact about me, I danced on the dance team at the University of Washington and was a hip hop dance instructor all through college.
Love it. I love it. Oh, let's see. Who are we missing here? We're missing Anthony.
Hello, everyone. My name is Anthony Comrez. I work for Natalie Dam in the South Bay of Los Angeles, Torrance to be exact. Fun fact about me, I've been living between Dallas and Los Angeles for about 4 years, going back and forth every 2 weeks.
Wow, that's a big commute. It's a big commute. Let's see, how about Sam? You need to unmute yourself, Sam.
How's that?
There we go.
I didn't mute it, so I don't know who did that. Greetings from El Paso, Texas. Fun fact, I guess, would be is when I was 2 years old, I remember I won a baby beauty contest here, and got a big trophy. And I thought, I just recently remembered that maybe it would be interesting to try to find the queen. I was the king, and we also had a queen. So it'd be kind of fun to look up the queen and see what she's up to.
That's right. I love it. All right. Did I miss anyone? If I missed you, that was not intentional. I've got my notes here, and I don't think I missed anybody, but if I did, please stop me. I don't think so. Okay. Let's move forward. So you guys know me, Arlen Brady, and just a fun fact about me. So let's see. Mike said he's getting married in September. On Monday of next week, Monday will be our 30th wedding anniversary.
Oh,
So we will hit 30 on Monday, and I realize that means that I've been married longer than several of you have been alive. So that's okay too.
congratulations.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, so let's take a look. I want to show you this before we dive into the details here. So I've put together a little group in our reporting system so that I can kind of see what this group does during class, and then of course after class is finished. But this is impressive. We have people that are landing sales, that are writing proposals and landing sales already landing sales. And there's one person that's missing here, and I'll call him out in just a second. So Delilah has landed a job. Mike Conrad has landed 3 jobs. Tim has landed a job. Tyler has landed a job. And, you know, Mike and Tim might be looking at these saying, yeah, but these are little tiny jobs. It doesn't matter. In the beginning, it doesn't matter the size of the job. What matters is the fact that you landed it, because that gives you momentum to go land the next ones. And frankly, in the very beginning, it's probably better that you land a bunch of little ones, because you get that momentum, you get the repetition, rather than saying, oh, look, I'm going to go land big jobs and only big jobs. Although, you know, when Delilah lands a big job, great. I'm tickled to death for it. There's one name that's not on here that I need to call out, and that's Armando. And I know that Armando has landed a job with Josefina, but it doesn't show up here because it was run under Josefina's name in the system. But I know that Armando landed one with Josefina, and I'm watching that, but I can't put Josefina in this group because this is just a group of design associates. So great job. I want to shout out to you guys, because all of a sudden you're starting to land work already. And I think that's fantastic. So let's take a look then at where we are going today. So I do want to take, we'll do this at the end though. I do want to take a look at the scorecard. But we're going to do that at the end. We're going to spend the bulk of our time talking about doing inspired sale practice. And that's really where I want us to spend our time. And we're going to spend that time in breakout rooms for the most part. Then I do want to share with you product selector and product features, advantages, and benefits. That's sort of looking ahead a little bit. We'll spend some time looking at the product installation guide. And then we'll dive into, you know, what does homework look like for next week. So the scorecard I'm going to do later, but let's dive right in here first. So remember, we had homework.
Let me make a comment before we start with the.
Yes, please.
Mr. Arlen?
Yep.
Okay, I'm a little bit behind on my homework for credentialing, and they only finished that yesterday for me. So I started on it yesterday. I'm up to 30% of my homework done, but it's not going to look good for me, but I'll catch up next week. I just want to make sure, you know, we're on the same page. So I'm a little bit behind on my homework.
We'll get you caught up. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Don't worry. We'll get you caught up.
Great. Thank you.
I need to catch up from both this and last week by next time. So
there you go. All right. So the big homework, apart from going through the Floor U material, the big homework from last week was to be able to simply know the order of the slides in the company story. So can you just, you don't have to know content, you don't have to know anything about it, but can you simply say, my job, promise, serve, map, reviews, BBB, stars, trusted, installation video, choice, direct versus easy, happy, build it. Can you just go through that list? And I want to see who thinks they're ready. All right, let's see. David, let's hear it.
Oh, no, I said I can do the first 5. I thought that was, I apologize.
Give me the first 5.
My job, promise, serve, map, Better Business Bureau, which is that the 6th, or did I miss one?
That's 6. Yeah,
that is 6.
BBB is the 6th. So my job, promise, serve, map,
reviews.
And the way I think about that, so for me, as I memorize this list, I already start to think about the next slide, the next slide, the next slide. So I think about my job. Well, part of my job is to promise you the best possible service. Okay, so that gives me the next couple. My job is to promise you the best possible service. We've done it all over the country. Our customers give us reviews, and that keeps us off the Better Business Bureau hit list. This is how we earn our stars. We're trusted, and we do installation very, very well. We have our video, which just makes sense right after the installation video. And then on the back side, you have a ton of choices. How do you choose? Well, we're direct. This is how we compare to others. And we want to make it easy. We want you to be happy, so let's build it. So that's just, in my mind, the way that I kind of remember it. It's I almost remember it like a little tiny company story, right?
Yeah, story.
My job, promise, serve, map, reviews, BBB, stars, trusted installation, installation video, choice, direct versus easy, happy, build it. All right, who wants to give it a shot? All right, Patrick. You're muted, and we want to hear this.
All right, you can hear me now?
Got you.
Okay, so it's my job, service, promise, map, review, BBB, stars, trust installation, video choice, manufacturer direct, and that's lands the versus, easy, happy, and build it.
Good. All right. What I heard was that you had promise and serve flip-flopped.
Okay.
But you know what? I'll take it. Good stuff. Who wants to give it a shot? Come on, Kelsey.
Okay. My job, promise, serve, map, reviews, BBB, stars, trusted, installation video, choice, direct, versus easy, happy, and build it.
You know what I call that? I call that money. That is money in the bank right there. Money in the bank. I love it. By the way, Kelsey is the one that posted, or I guess John posted a picture of Kelsey out there door hangering and putting out lawn signs. Get the little stuff done right and the big stuff comes. I love it. Let's do one more. Who else thinks they can get this?
I'll try it.
All right.
All right. So my job, promise, serve, map, reviews, BBB, stars, trusted installation, installation video, choice, direct versus easy, happy, build it.
I love it. You got it. Big time. And isn't this one so much cleaner and nicer than the old one you remember?
Without a doubt.
So much nicer. All right. So my point, and you'll remember this from last week, my point in having you try to commit the slide order to memory is so that when you're in the customer's home, you don't have to think about what is the next slide. And as you build transitions from one slide to the next slide, you can start to think, okay, if it's my job, what's the next thing I have to do? I'm going to promise somebody something. What's the next thing? We're going to serve somebody. What's the next thing? Okay, so if I know this ahead of time, I really want you to get to the point, and I know it doesn't feel like that right now. I want you to get to the point where this is just automatic so that when you're in the home, you can listen to the customer instead of listening to yourself, try to tell yourself what to do.
Yeah.
All right. So this is what we're going to cover today. I want to spend some time talking about the setup call and practicing the setup call. I want to spend some time talking about the warm-up and what's involved in the warm-up, and spend a little bit of time talking about the inspection.
I called her at 2 o'clock.
So we will start with the setup call. So you guys tell me, what is the purpose of the setup call? What is it? What do we do? What are we trying to accomplish with the setup call?
One, to confirm the appointment. 2, to try to get an insight of what wanting to get accomplished.
3,
Okay.
make sure that all the decision makers are there.
All right. So give me just a second. I want to switch back.
Very much pre-screening.
Arlen, were we too quick?
Nope, you're not too quick. I love it. Not at all. Okay. So we said the setup call. And we want to confirm the appointment. And we want to make sure that decision makers are there. What else?
Start to build rapport.
Yeah, we want to build some rapport.
What,
Okay.
Sorry,
Azam?
What product they're looking to get? I mean.
Okay, maybe you want to talk a little bit about the product. Maybe you want to talk a little bit about what the scope of the work is going to look like. Okay. What else?
Find out a little bit about the project to make sure I bring the right things. Like, you know, for example, if they're working on a tile project and we don't normally carry a lot of tile in our mobile showroom, I know, hey, I need to grab some, you know, at the office.
Okay, good. If I could accomplish one thing, let's say I can only get, if I could just focus on one thing, what is the number one thing that I am trying to do in the setup call?
Introduce yourself and the company to break the ice.
All right, so I will agree that that's a good thing, but that's not introduction. Although I agree with you that that's a beautiful thing, that's not the outcome I'm looking for. What is the big outcome that I want to
confirm the appointment?
Yeah, I want to do that, but that's still not the number one thing.
Arlen, would it be to get all the decision makers there?
That's important, and we're going to dive into decision makers. I want to put a star next to this.
You're building rapport.
How did you hear about us?
Okay, so I heard, how do you hear about us? How did you hear about us? Okay. But what is my number one objective? If I could get one thing, all these are good things to do, but what is the one thing that I'm trying to accomplish with this setup call?
How soon they need the project to be done, or when?
It's a good piece of information. What, Amelia?
It's a touch point.
Was it budget?
Nah, I don't care about the budget.
Setting expectations.
All right, I'm just going to give it to you, okay? I'm trying to get one thing out of this setup call. What's that, David?
Who referred you to Floor Nationals and Floor Coverings International?
All right, there's the big thing. There's
Trying to get them on the phone.
Thing. The big thing, I want them to stop Googling.
Okay.
If I could get one outcome out of this setup call, all these are great things to do, right? All this stuff that you guys listed, this is all great stuff to do, but it's all in the spirit of, I want them to stop looking for somebody else. Okay, so I do a lot of secret shopping and I do stuff around the house, and I call it a window company, Renewal by Anderson, because I have a cracked window, so I need one window replaced, and they're not interested in one window. That's fine. But I also wanted to see their process. I wanted to see what their process looked like. Okay, so their setup call sounded a little something like this. Is this Mr. Brady? Yes. All right, so I see that I've got you down for 6 o'clock Monday evening. Are you and your wife both going to be there? Because we got to have both people there. Yeah, we'll both be here. Okay, so I see here in the notes that you're only looking for one window. Yeah, well, we don't normally do one window, but we can send somebody out anyway. Okay, good. And by the way, we need 90 minutes to do this appointment. So we need to make sure that you've got 90 minutes on your calendar set aside. Have you got 90 minutes set aside for us? Well, yeah. Okay, and I see that your address is 112 Artisan Court in Lexington. Okay, good. All right, so did they do a setup call?
Can I just fill you in because I worked for Renewal by Anderson very briefly, and your setup call is very spot on.
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like.
Yes.
That's exactly what it sounds like, okay? That made me want to Google more. I mean, it did. Because that setup call is crap. Now, did it confirm the appointment? Yes. Did they say something about decision makers? Yes. Did they tell me how long it was going to be? Yes. So I can go down the list. They confirmed the project scope. They went right down the list of things that they needed to do, but there was no excitement. There was no, hey, we're happy to meet you. There was nothing that made me excited about wanting them to come to the house. As a matter of fact, at that point, I dreaded them coming to the house.
They're very blunt. They're very blunt, I guess is the way to put it. Even their sales process is very blunt.
So what I want to do with my setup call is I want to make sure that we build enough rapport. Now, when the customer hangs up the phone, I don't expect that I've landed the job. That's not the point. I'm not trying to land the job in the setup call. But I want the customer to be so excited about meeting me, about meeting us as a company, that they go, you know what? As long as floor coverings can, you know, as long as they've got a good product at a reasonable price, I think we could go with them. So that's, go ahead. There was a question.
Yeah, because I mean, those comments, because I'll be honest, my setup calls sometimes, of course, I'm confirming the appointment, but literally, I need to get better at maybe some of the check boxes. Is all I do, honestly, is confirm the appointment and try to get them excited for me to show up. Like I really do a lot of building in. I'm talking to them. I'm joking about whatever. Don't really talk about flooring too much, you know. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to be there, you know, tomorrow, whatever, or, you know, that, you know, tends to be how I've been doing them.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right. So I want to dive into one key point here because words matter. I mean, words really, really matter to people. Okay. And this is this business about having all the decision makers there. So why do you want all the decision makers there?
It's a better chance of a same day sale.
Okay, you have a better chance of making a same day sale. Good.
You're avoiding a built-in objection.
Okay, great. Absolutely. I agree with both of those. Okay. Now, for the customer, not for you, for the customer, why is it important that everybody is there?
Both individuals are collecting the same information that you as the salesperson are presenting. So there's no he said, she said.
Okay, I'll buy that. What else?
Things get lost in translation quite a bit when it's a one-legger like that.
Okay. And is that important for you or is that important for the customer?
Both of us.
All right. What else? Why is it so important for the customer?
They want to make sure all their questions get asked.
Yeah, okay. Get all the questions asked. What else?
They need to agree on product.
See the product.
How are we going to, we're simply talking, oh, sorry. Yeah, to get everybody there so everybody can see the product. John, why is it important that everybody sees the product?
We're agreeing on the same thing. I mean, we're trying to seal this up. We're trying to close doors of, well, I need to talk to my husband about it, and then you're trying to make a second appointment. It's the German approach where you stop them from shopping. You know, it's
okay. All right, but that's looking at it from the sales side. I want to look at it from the customer side.
Because
both people
they're gonna live with it.
Yeah, they're both gonna live with it.
I would say it also helps them feel confident in their choice. You know, if they're both there, they're a lot more confident that this is the right choice as opposed to, oh, I think my wife's going to like this, or I think that my husband said he wants this. You know, when they're both there, they're much more confident in going ahead and doing something.
From the customer.
Go ahead, David. Go ahead, David.
From the customer's point of view, I would think as homeowners, they would both want to be part of the process and design and project excitement.
Okay, now we're starting to dig into it, right? So if I can take what David said and just boil it down to one word, right? The word that I choose, you can choose a different word, is, let's take decision makers down here. Who wants to have input? Right? Who wants to have a voice heard? Who wants their voice heard on this project? Who wants to have input? And what do I mean by input? Well, input on the color, input on the design, maybe input on the scope, might be input on the way that the project is installed, might be input on the price. It could be input on a lot of different things. So Kelsey, I'm curious, I'm going to pick on Kelsey for a minute. Kelsey, I'm curious, if you wanted to have a home project done, I'm going to stay away from floors. Let's say you wanted to have the inside of the house repainted. Who would you want to have input into that project?
I would want both myself and my husband.
Okay, anybody else?
No.
Okay, all right, well, that's fair. Okay, for some people, so when I ask, are all the decision makers going to be there? So if I ask Kelsey, I'm doing a setup call with Kelsey and I say, all right, so Kelsey, is your husband going to be there? Because, I mean, let's face it, you don't really control the pocketbook, do you? I mean, that's really offensive. I mean, that's, that ain't going to help endear me. But if I were to ask her, is there anybody that you would like to have at this appointment that would like to have input into the color, the design, the scope, the way we install it, the price of the project? Is there anybody that you can think of that you would like to have input into this project? Now it opens the doors, doesn't it? It might be a husband or a wife. It might be a sister or a brother. It might be an interior designer. I want my mom to look. I really like my aunt's taste and I want my aunt to be here. Whatever, right? I want anybody that you want there, I want them to be there so that they can look at all the options with us. And see, when I present it that way, it sounds a whole lot better than, are all the decision makers going to be there? Because frankly, most of the time when a customer is calling you to have you come to the appointment, all they're wanting is to get a quote, or at least that's what they're going to say, right? All I want is a quote. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to set up this experience for the customer so that they have a great experience. You start talking about decision makers, now it's like, well, no, I'm not making a decision. All I want is a quote. I don't need my decision makers to be here. Okay, but is there anybody that you know that you would like to be there to have input into the project, the color, the design, the way we're going to install it, the price of the project? Is there anybody that you would like to have at the appointment that would want input into this? Well, yes, I'd like for my wife, my husband, my sister, my brother. Would they be available during that period of time? You see it now, it doesn't sound like I'm the salesperson wanting to sell something. It sounds like I'm setting up a consultative service and I want to make sure that you have the people there that you want there. This isn't for me, this is for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It does. And unfortunately, you had a bad taste in your mouth for renewal because they twisted it like it was important to them and not important to you.
Yeah.
So they started you
okay.
off in the wrong foot.
Sure.
So,
and to be fair, in the role that I'm in, yeah, I'm probably going to nitpick. But if I wasn't in this role, that setup call was very much their side. We need you to do this for us, rather than, hey, we want to make this a pleasant experience for you.
So I have a question, and it might be like a little bit farther into the process, right? But if during your setup call, you call somebody and basically ask them, are all the decision makers going to be there? And they say, no, or I'm the only one, right? And then you get into the appointment and basically your key objection is, I need to talk to my husband, or I need to talk to my wife, or I need to talk to so-and-so. Is there room or a way to throw kind of their setup call response back at them and be like, but hey, you told me that you didn't need anybody else's input. So really, what is the problem?
So yes, there's a way to deal with that, but no, I'm probably not going to throw that back in their face.
Okay.
Okay, and we will get to that later. All
Arlen,
right, so what I want to do now, yes, John.
what you experienced with Anderson Windows, I myself have gotten, and I always feel like I'm being qualified. And the qualified means to me high pressure. And I think the public feels that way because they've had, you know, that sort of smash and grab type company come out there. What you said about being a consultant and everything else, are, you know, for looking for input and all those other things. I've had so many people that have had to reschedule the appointment from being 2 o'clock in the afternoon to 6 o'clock at night because she thought that we wouldn't bring them out when her husband was home, or he thought that I couldn't get my wife who gets off from her shift to be there at the same time. But that's even better. And I've just gotten such a better response, and I've had a higher close ratio in various things that I've done by setting it up that way. So, I mean, I like it that way because you're not hiding anything, but you're showing the brand. I mean, you're showing that's the reason why you want to work with us.
And now that you've done that for them, what do? They stop Googling,
shopping.
Right? They stop looking for somebody. All right, so what I want to do, I'm gonna send all of you into a breakout room. And in that breakout room, I just want you to practice doing a setup call. That's it. You're going to practice doing a setup call with one another. I'm going to put 3 or 4 people in a breakout room together. And this, I want to keep the breakout room small so that everybody gets an opportunity to practice with one another. So when you're in the setup call, one of you is going to be the design associate. One of you is going to be the customer. You know, customers, play along. Don't be a butthead. Play along with them. That's fine. And then give them feedback. You know, and the most important feedback you can give somebody is very specific. When you said these words, this is how that made me feel. And so what are we trying to do here? We're trying to make this a great experience for our customers. So if you can tell somebody, hey, when you said this, that really that didn't feel real good. That's great feedback because that helps somebody get better. So if you've never played with Zoom before, I've got to make a couple of adjustments because then my tablet, let's see, Savannah and my tablet and the whiteboard can all be in the same room together. That's room 7. And then I can put we've got a couple of rooms with 3 and everybody else is in a room with 2, and that's good. That gives everybody the opportunity to practice with one another. Room 9. I think this will work. When you go, if you've never played with breakout rooms before in Zoom, when you go into the breakout room, if you need help, there is a button that you can press that says ask for help. I will see it, it'll come to my computer, and then I'll be able to jump in with you guys. You will have about 10 minutes in your breakout room. You should all have, you should have a notification on your screen to go into a breakout room. Patrick, Ashley, you guys should have good. Everybody's where they're supposed to be. Good.
enjoyed the talking.
Nice. All right. So let me ask you this. As a customer, if you were in the customer's shoes, how did that setup call make you feel? You feel excited about working with him? You feel like maybe he's an okay guy? You feel like what do you think?
I was very excited. Like you know, if I was a customer, I would be interested in knowing who was talking to me.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. All right.
You know,
Someone else.
I felt comfortable, you know. Yes.
Good. Thank you. All right. Someone else. What did you hear that somebody said? What did you say that maybe didn't come across the way you wanted it to? Share with the group so that we can learn from one another. Yeah, David.
I missed something, and John did a great job while I was chatting about why it would be best to have both people on site. John had mentioned his wife's name, and I thought I should have asked just to be polite, and I thought that was a great tip. That was all.
Nice. I like it. What else? What else did you guys hear? Anybody feel like they put their foot in their own mouth? I do sometimes. Look, I'll be practicing it and I'll say something stupid like, you know, hey, is your wife going to be there? Or the one that I love, the one that I absolutely love. Let's see. Who can I pick on? I'm going to pick on Amelia. All right, Amelia, you'll be my customer, okay?
All right.
All right. Hey, Amelia, this is Arlen Brady from Floor Coverings International. How are you today?
I'm fine.
Good, good. Hey, have you got 2 minutes to talk to me on the phone?
Yes, I do.
Perfect. So I've got you listed to have an appointment with us for me to come out and take a look at your flooring project. I've got you down for Friday afternoon at 3 at 123 Main Street. Is that correct?
Yes, that's perfectly fine. That's right before everyone gets home, so I can have some.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, beautiful. So does that mean, are you going to be alone?
Yes.
Oh. Oh.
Creepy.
Anybody else?
Anybody else?
Anybody else have little red flags going off yet?
Oh.
Just me and the Rottweiler.
Yeah.
That's right.
Take two.
That's right. Take two. All right. Are you gonna be alone? I mean, I've heard people say you don't think about what you're saying, right? Words matter. This is why you practice this stuff, right? You practice this stuff because for one person, maybe they don't think about it. It's not a big deal. But for somebody else, then all of a sudden, oh my gosh, no creep factor 10. Let's go. All right, so let's move ahead in the appointment, right? So we've done our setup call, great. Now, I actually get in my little van. This is as good of a van as I can draw. Sorry guys, I'm no artist. I get in my little van and I make my way to the appointment. Okay?
Nice van.
So where do I want to park this little van?
Not in the driveway.
On the side of the street.
And the street in front.
Yeah. So Patrick, you said not in the driveway?
Yes.
Yeah. So what makes you say not in the driveway?
I think it's kind of rude. You know, you don't know if someone needs to get out of the garage or someone's going somewhere. You don't want to have oil leak on their, on their driveway either. And then the truck's not really visible to the street sometimes.
There you go. Okay. Somebody else said on the street. Okay. Give me some rationale behind on the street. Go ahead, Sam.
On the street in front of the house, so it's visible.
Good. Visible to who?
To the customer.
So what makes you want the customer to see it?
It's visible to anybody passing by. It's an advertisement while you're in front of their house.
Well, I'm thinking the customer because we're going to talk about the mobile showroom. It's one of our marketing, what do you call it, tactics. And so we have to show that it exists and it's real. And we are who we say we are.
Good. Okay. So now we start to peel the onion back a little bit. I want to park this thing right in front of the front door. I'm not in the yard, of course. I mean, on the street. But when they open the front door, I want them to see that mobile showroom.
Yep.
I want them to see that I'm dressed in a Floor Coverings International shirt. I want the professionalism just to come oozing out of my pores, because it's going to set you apart from so many other companies that are out there. My renewal from Anderson guy showed up in his personal vehicle. Okay, great. That's what you guys do. You drive a personal vehicle. His vehicle was a nice vehicle, but it could have been a ratty SUV. I don't know, right? The Empire guys show up in their own vehicle. Okay, this just sets you apart. Now, are there other companies with wrapped mobile showrooms? Sure, there are. But when you're out there and they see that mobile showroom parked out front, it just adds credibility to who you are, to what's happening here. It sets somebody at ease. I mean, it's important for them to be able to see that, right? All right, so we get up to the house, and the first thing that we're going to do once we get in the house is we're going to do something called a warm-up. So what is the point of the warm-up? What am I trying to do? What do we want to talk about in the warm-up?
Break the ice.
Okay.
Get your thoughts together.
Tell me what you mean by break the ice.
Break the ice.
You want to introduce yourself?
This is before you enter the house, or?
Oh, yeah. So I mean, you're at the house. You put on the booties. You give them a business card. You get into the house, right? Now I'm in the house. I want to be able to do something called a warm up, an actual warm up with the customer, right? So what do I want to do with this warm up process? What do I want to talk about?
Them.
The inspection? Is that that?
No,
I want to talk about them, right? I want to talk about the customer.
Compliment the house, you know, like
Trying to establish
engage with the
rapport.
customer. By complimenting the house, or
You want to talk about anything but the actual floors.
Yeah. All right. So I
Or
can
the
put this
project.
over on this side. No. What are the things I don't want to talk about? I don't want to talk about the floor.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
And then of course you've got the typical things. I don't want to talk about a religion. I don't want to talk about politics.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
There's certain topics that I want to stay away from for sure. Right. But the biggest thing is I don't want to talk about the floor. I want to find out about the customer. I want to learn who this customer is. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what are some of the topics? What are some of the subjects that I can talk about that are going to help me understand who this person is?
Their Marine Corps plaque, their cuckoo clock, whatever it is to get them to talk about themselves, really.
Okay, right. So I can put.
And how much you like it. It's a great looking thing. Where'd you get that? Wow.
Okay, good.
Love it.
Okay.
Get to
Ask them how long they've been there.
Hobbies,
sports,
interests, sports.
Here we go. Now we're getting there.
What are you cooking?
Sports.
Hobbies.
What you cooking today?
Yep, maybe what you're cooking, right? Who knows?
Yep.
All right, what else?
People love to talk about their kids and their pets.
Family members.
Kids. Pets.
Getaway pictures. Getaway pictures from vacation or some type of item from another country.
Good, good. All right. Do you know what everybody's favorite topic is?
Themselves.
Pets.
Themselves. Themselves. Right? And so this is the fun part. You go in and talk to somebody that has grandkids. They want to tell you everything about the grandkids. But here's the thing. In the brain, what's happening is they're actually talking about themselves. So they're telling you about the grandkids and how proud they are of what the grandkids have done and whatever. But it's really, that's part of their story. People love talking about themselves. You ask them about a vacation they went on. Well, how did that place make you feel? What did you like about it? Oh, you went to Greece. Oh, that was fantastic. What were the highlights? It's getting them to talk about themselves. I don't want to talk about And I'm a little bit, so watch me here, sports, okay? Who are my sports nuts in the room? All right, so Jesse, I don't care what sport, who is your favorite team?
Philadelphia Eagles.
All right, so if there's any Dallas people on just stick with him, all right? He'll be okay. He'll be all right. There's a program for that. All right, so he's an Eagles fan. So and by the way, I don't really follow football that much, so I make all this stuff up. But let's say that I go to Jesse's house and I ask him, the Eagles, great. Who is their draft pick? We find out, we talk about their quarterback, we talk about the running backs, we talk about the program, we talk about the head coach, and we talk about all this stuff, right? That's great. What did I learn about Jesse?
That he likes sports.
That's it. That's the only thing I know.
Sports are great, but you can get really caught off, and you can really get far away from why you're actually there.
That's exactly right. So it's one thing if I find out from Jesse that he's such a big sports fan and he's such a big Eagles fan that, twice a year, he's got this group of guys that he meets in Philadelphia and they go to 2 home games a year. And now I'm starting to understand a little bit more about him, right? And so then I can talk about, well, these guys and how'd you meet them and whatever. And so I don't want to talk about the sports team. I want to talk about Jesse. I want to understand what I can know about Jesse, okay? Ultimately, just like before, if I could use all of this and none of this, right? If I could find out ultimately, where do they spend their time and their money?
No,
I can't just walk in the door and say, oh, by the way, where do you spend your time and money?
Well, you could, but
It's probably not going to be helpful, right? It's probably not going to go over real well.
No, but it might actually set yourself apart from everybody else because everybody else is doing the same thing.
yeah. Actually, you might get the
But you're not going to do that. You're just not.
But here's the thing, Jesse. Nobody does this. I've yet to come across another company that actually spends 10 or 15 minutes with somebody doing nothing but a warm-up without trying to get right into the project.
Yeah.
The trouble you're going to have is not that, the last guy that was here spent 15 minutes with them. No, the trouble you're going to run into is that this customer has had 3 people already come to the house, and all 3 of them walked in the door and said, okay, show me the space. And now you're trying to do a warm-up, and the customer's trying to take you to the space.
Yeah.
Because as a culture, we've programmed people to think as soon as a contractor gets here, the contractor's really, really busy. We got to go straight to the space and do the thing. And you're going to have to find a way to slow them down, put on the brakes, and get them to sit down on the couch or sit down at the kitchen table and just have a conversation with you. Right? And what do I want to find out? I want to find out about the customer.
Yep.
So you guys are running appointments, you're running ride-alongs. I should be able to ask you, tell me a little bit about Mrs. Smith that you met yesterday. And I know the first thing that's going to come out of your mouth is going to be, oh, well, she wanted a hardwood floor, but she's got this going on and blah, blah. No. I didn't say I want to know about the floor. I want to know about Mrs. Smith. What's the story with Mr. and Mrs. Smith? Who are they? What do they enjoy? What are their pets' names? This is your opportunity to get to know them as a person, not to get to know their project. This is about getting to know them as a person. And it is so refreshing for people to actually have somebody that cares enough to stop for 15 minutes and just listen to them and let them
back at 1, then we'll go to the appointment. Would you sync my
All right. Now, once I've done all of this, then, and only then, I want to transition to inspecting the space. All right. So we had a great setup call. And now I've come to the house. and I've gotten out of the van and I parked the van at a great place and everybody can see the van and that's wonderful. And I come up to the door and knock on the door. I put my booties on my feet, have a great introduction. I walk in the door and the customer says, okay, so what we're doing is we're doing the carpet in the upstairs bedroom. And I say something like, well, before we get started with that, would you mind if I set my bag down over here next to the couch? And I just sit down on the couch. And when I sit down on the couch, the customer is going to sit down. I mean, it's awkward for you to sit and they stand. And you try this. Don't even ask them if you can sit down, just sit down. Sit down and watch what happens. They're going to sit down. It's human nature. They're going to sit down. Okay.
Well, some people you have to be really aware, because so I know, like disc personalities, some people, when they want you there, they want you to come in, they want you to look at the job, they want you to quote the job. They don't want a small talk. Some people are like that.
Yep. I get it. And you're going to have to find a way to small talk with them. Now, in some cases, go ahead, Jesse.
I said they're doing that because that's what everybody else does. I come from AT&T in-home sales, and this is all taught the exact same way. It's the best proven track record, regardless of whatever they want. You got to do your best to actually get into that, to get to know them, because that's what's going to set you apart from everybody else.
I know.
Now, Clayton, I will tell you, sometimes you walk in the door and you're standing on the floor that they want done. And so they immediately start talking about, okay, this is the hardwood that I want to replace and blah. And sometimes you have to let them, give them 30 seconds to vomit all of that out of their mouth and then get into a warm up and just back the train back up. And, that's great, but, let's go over here and have a seat. And, you're not going to ask them, hey, can we sit down and let me get to know you so that I know how you want to spend your time and money? You're just going to do it. Just fall right into it. Okay. All right. So I want, at some point, I've had this great warm up with somebody and we spent 10 or 15 minutes, and now we've had a chance to get to know one another. More importantly, I've had a chance to get to know them. And so the next thing I want to do is I want to go and look at the space with them. But this is where the transition questions, this is why they fit in right here. Because let's see, who said they have little kids? I know Michael has little kids, all right, but they're not quite old enough to walk. Amelia, are your kids old enough to walk yet?
3 and 6 years old, yes.
Perfect. Okay, so let's take your 6-year-old into downtown Roseville. Okay, let's take them into downtown Roseville.
Okay.
And you're going to walk with your 6-year-old down Main Street, downtown Roseville. What are you going to do? You're going to hold his hand, aren't you?
I'll try.
Yes, you're going to try. Okay. My guess is if you don't hold his hand, he's going to wander all over the place.
Right.
I don't know. Okay. Is it a he or a she?
2 boys. Yes, boys.
2 boys. All right, good. All right. So I got it right. So Amelia is going to take her son by the hand and walk him down the street. And if she doesn't walk him down the street, he's going to go all over the place. Okay. You're doing the same thing with your customer. You are leading your customer down this path so that they can make a really, really good decision at the end. Notice I didn't say so that they decide to buy from you. I said so that they can make a really good decision at the end, which might be buying from you. It might not be. But I want to lead the customer down this space. So we've had this great warm up. Now, every conversation, I don't care if it's a conversation with your spouse, with your mother-in-law, it might be a conversation with somebody at an event. Every conversation just has a natural dip, right? You're excited, people are talking about their vacation, whatever, and then 10 minutes into it, maybe even less, at some point there's sort of a dip and the energy of the conversation sort of drops. And when you feel the energy in that conversation drop, it's time to move the customer into the next thing. So what's the next thing? We're going to inspect the space. So how am I going to now signal to the customer that we've moved past, First Street, now we're moving to Second Street, we're going to cross the street, we're moving on to a different block. And I'm going to do that by asking these transition questions. So these transition questions do 2 things. One, they do help me uncover any objections that the customer has. But the other thing that they do is they help lead the customer down this path. So what is my transition question? How long?
Have you thought about replacing your floors? Well, thinking of replacing your floors.
Floors. Okay, how long have you been thinking about replacing your floors? Okay, so let's think about this. We're having a great conversation, and Kelsey has told me that she just jumped out of an airplane. I'm like, oh my God, that's crazy. That's fantastic. So what was it like? What did you enjoy? What did you? And she's telling me all this stuff and thrill seeker and great. And just like the parachute sort of comes down at the end. Just like the parachute sort of comes down at the end, the conversation sort of comes down at the end. And so I look at Kelsey and I think, so Kelsey, tell me, how long have you been thinking about replacing your floors? Now, I know when we do this in isolation, it feels kind of weird, but it doesn't feel weird when you're doing it in the home because it's just a natural, it's just another question, right?
Transition.
Oh, so you did skydiving and that was great, and you did this and that was wonderful, and you had a great time, and would you do it again? I would. And then the conversation sort of comes down. So Kelsey, tell me, how long have you been thinking about replacing your floor? She says, I don't know, 2 or 3 years. Okay, great. What made you decide do it today? Now, I want you to note there's the reason that I ask you to memorize these. There's ways of asking this question that can get you in trouble, and this is a very specific way of asking the question so that you stay out of trouble and you get the information that you want. So notice, I'm not asking what made you decide to get a quote today. I'm asking them what made you decide to do it today, right? That's a very different question. What made you decide to get a quote today? Oh, well, you know, I was at home. Okay, that's great. That doesn't help me. That doesn't tell me anything. What made you decide to do it today? And by the way, today is one of those objection-getting words. Now it's like it's putting just a tiny, tiny bit of pressure on the customer, and then we're going to release it. I want to put just a little tiny bit of pressure on the customer so that the customer says, oh, I'm not doing anything today. I'm going to get some quotes. Okay, good. I want to know, because here in about 45 minutes, I'm going to show the customer a price. And experience tells me that here in about 45 minutes, the customer is going to do everything they can to kick me out of the house. Well, I want to know now, what is the reason they're going to give me for kicking me out of the house? So let's figure out that early so that during the course of the next 45 minutes, I can work on that objection so that when I get to the price, that objection's done. Okay? So what made you decide to do it today? Okay. Maybe they tell me, oh, I'm not doing anything today. Okay, well, I need more information. So I might ask, oh, really? What? Oh, really? What makes you say that? Okay. Now, again, this is one of those. Yeah.
Arlen, I mean, I've seen in these setup questions that after what made you decide to do it today, they've also thrown in that more hard press of what made you decide to buy from me today. You want to talk about throwing that in there before we move on to go to, oh, really make you say that? Or does it come after that, or does it come before that? I don't understand whether. All
right, so I'll write it up here, and then we can talk about that one too. Okay. Oh, really? What makes you say that? And what made oh, come on, fingers. All right, so let's talk about how we use these. First, let's say that I asked the first question. How long have you been thinking about replacing your floors? oh, I don't know, I've been thinking about it for 6 months. Okay. Well, what made you decide to do it today? And the customer says, oh, I'm not doing anything today. Do I have an objection? Do I know what their issue is? No, I don't. All they said was, I'm not doing anything today. So now the next question I'm going to pull out of my arsenal is, oh, really? What makes you say that? Okay. I want to know, what is the objection? Now, this is the word what is intentional. I do not want to ask the word why in this question. And the reason I don't want to ask the word why is because the word why tends to put people on the defensive. Right? I mean, I could simply ask, I could simply ask Grant, what would you like for lunch? I'm coming next week and I'm thinking about putting something on the Traeger. What would you like for me to for me to smoke on the Traeger? Okay, and Grant would say,
brisket.
Brisket. Well, Grant, why do you want brisket? Okay, now stop for a second and think about how that question comes across. Why do you want brisket? And now all of a sudden I'm putting him on the defensive. I mean, that sounds aggressive, doesn't it? Why do you want brisket? I'm just asking him, what is it about brisket that he likes? But I didn't ask that. I said, why do you want brisket? Now he's like, what the hell? Because that's what I like. Okay, good. All right. On the other hand, if I said, well, what is it about brisket? Or what do you like about brisket? Well, now it just sounds like I'm asking for more information. Maybe he tells me he likes the smoky flavor. He's a red meat guy. He likes the, certain spices or whatever else. So I'm not trying to put the customer on the defensive. That's why I don't use the word why, and instead I use the word what, because what doesn't put people on the defensive, why does. All right, so John, I'm coming to your question. How long have you been thinking about replacing your floors? Oh, I don't know, maybe a year. Well, what made you decide to do it today? Oh gosh, I had the day off, and this seemed like a really good time to go ahead and get a project like this done. All right, do I have an objection? No, I don't. I don't have an objection. Quite the opposite. It's like I'm getting all the plus signs. So, and if I ask the question, well, oh really, what makes you say that? Well, that seems like a really stupid question right now. Okay, but if I ask the question, well, what made you decide to buy from me today? Well, that's a whole different question. Oh, time out. I haven't decided to buy anything, Jack. Back the truck up. Oh, really? What makes you say that? Oh, because you're the first person I've talked to. I normally get 3 estimates on these things. Okay? So this question is intended to intensify.
First.
I don't even like calling it pressure, but it intensifies the situation enough that then the customer sort of, they don't have a choice. I mean, it's like they're either going to say, oh, because I thought you were really, really good, or they're going to say, oh, time out, I'm not buying anything yet. Right? I've jumped ahead 10 steps. What made you decide to buy from me today? Oh, time out, Chief, I'm not there yet. Okay, good. What makes you say that you're not there yet? Well, because I haven't even seen your price. I don't know what your products are. I normally get 3 estimates. Okay, good. Now I have something to work with. Does that make sense, John?
It doesn't. It doesn't. It's almost like I'm poking the bear here. I mean, I asked him what made you decide to do it today. He gave me an answer. You gave me your answer, and I would have just moved on with that. But you're saying that second question, based on a soft response or a receptive response, it doesn't have an objection in it, that I want to push for an objection. Is that correct?
That's right. Yep. Okay. And you're right. It is poking the bear. But it's a gentle poke, right? I'm not slamming. I'm not hitting him across the head. It's a gentle poke. Okay.
You're eliciting a response. I understand. Yeah.
Yep. And the question. So what am I ultimately trying to ask? What I really want to ask, if we could just be really upfront with one another, what I really want to ask is, what BS reason in 45 minutes, I'm going to show you a price. I want to know what BS reason you're going to give me for not buying from me. Right? What I really want to ask is, what's going to keep you from buying today? but I can't really ask it that way. I got to ask it a different way. So what made you decide to do it today? Well, they're either going to say, I'm not doing it today, and they're going to help, you're going to walk down the path of getting an objection, or they're going to say, oh, everything's lovely and roses, and you're going to say, oh, okay, I got to poke the bear a little bit here because that didn't scratch deep enough.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, John, I'm going to take it one more level. I want you to ask me the transition questions, and let's role play this for a second.
Okay, Arlen, how long have you been thinking about replacing your floors?
Oh gosh, my wife has been on to me for 2 or 3 years to get this done.
Oh, really? Well, what made you decide to do it today?
Well, you know, I've got a really busy schedule. I work from home sometimes. I work from our corporate office sometimes, and this was a really good day to have you guys come out because it's hard for me to fit something like this into my schedule. So this was a really good day to have you guys come out.
I completely understand that. Is she here to give us some input on what she wants, or?
Okay, yeah, she's sitting right beside me, so don't worry about that.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know. I'm trying to get it out of you there, Arlen. All right.
No, all right. So you asked me what made you decide to do it today, and I basically gave you a real positive thing. All right. So poke the bear.
All right. So, what made you decide to buy from me today?
You know, John, you guys did my neighbor's house. You did the house 2 blocks over. The Facebook page, you know, the neighborhood Facebook page said you guys did a really, really great job. So I wanted to make sure that I had a chance to talk to you.
That's terrific. Can we have a look at the site? I mean, what we're looking at right now?
All right. So do you have an objection?
Do I have one?
Yeah. Have I given you an objection?
No, I've got a lot of soft closes going on in there, and
you've got a lot of positive stuff, but you don't.
Yeah.
I haven't told you that I'm getting 3 estimates. I haven't told you that I got a fence project I got to do and a broken window I got to deal with. I haven't told you any of that, right? And you're trying to get that out of me. Okay. So let me poke the bear one last time.
Okay.
Okay. Let's just dial this up one more time. Why not? Well, John, the way our process works, here in a moment, you and I are gonna walk the space together, and we're gonna take a look at everything. I'm gonna go out to the van and pull some samples for you. We're gonna be able to pick a product out today, and I'm gonna be in a position to write a contract today. If we can come up with a contract, would you be in a position to sign it today?
Well, other than price or payment, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't have a contract in front of me to be able to make a decision like that.
Okay,
and
good, right?
You have a fence
but now
post.
You see what I've done. You see what I've done. I've now taken this to DEFCON 5 or 1 or whichever one is the highest one, right? I've pushed this really, really hard. Now, am I going to ask this of every customer? Absolutely not. I don't need to push every customer. But I've got that customer that said, oh, everything's lovely. I want to work with you because, you know, I want to do it today and I want to buy from you today. If you ask a question like this, I mean, it's almost guaranteed you're going to get some sort of pushback, right? You're going to have to.
Yep.
Okay. Now I've got the customer where they can give me that objection. So I had to put just a little bit of extra pressure on them. Now I've got my objection. Now we let the pressure off. Okay, good. Let's go take a look at the space together. Okay. So these transition questions do 2 things for me. The first thing they do is they help me move the customer from the warm-up into the inspection. The other thing that they do for me is they help me understand what is the objection that I'm going to hear down the road. And I mean, 80% of the time, 90% of the time, it's going to be, oh, we're getting other estimates. Okay, great. I'm not afraid of other estimates. Okay, but now I need them to say it, even if I know 90% of the time it's other estimates. I don't care. I still need to ask the question, because if I'm going to use that later, it has to come out of their mouth. It's no fair using words that don't come out of your customer's mouth.
Right.
So even if I know it, like for example, you walk into a house and the reason they called you out is because they've got hardwood floors in the kitchen. The dishwasher blew up on itself and they've got all this water damage in the kitchen. So they need to replace the hardwood floor in the kitchen because the dishwasher has completely destroyed the floor. Are you going to ask the transition questions? How long have you been thinking about replacing the floor? I am. 100% I am. Because I'm not going to make any assumptions. You're assuming that they only started thinking about replacing the floor when the dishwasher blew up. But it might be that you know what, we've been thinking about replacing this floor for the last 10 years, but we never really had the push to do it. And now we have the push to do it. So don't make assumptions. You can't use it if the customer didn't say it. All right, let's move on to the inspection.
Can you ask the customer if they have gotten any estimates before you go there?
You could, but I'm not sure what purpose it serves.
I mean, like just to see if they have, like, you know, completed their shopping, or your where you fall in. Usually people get like up to 3 estimates. So if you're coming next,
not really. On average, let's take a little quiz here. On average, do you know how many estimates people get? The study's actually been done. Do you know how many estimates people actually get before making a decision on their flooring?
It's like 1.6.
2.
1.6 or something like that.
Yeah, Tim's right on it. It's like 1.6. Everybody doesn't get 3 estimates.
So that's an average of.
Everybody says they're going to get 3 estimates. But if you talk to one person that gets 3 estimates, the next person is probably only getting 1.
Yep.
And so frankly, I'm not going to ask somebody, have you gotten other estimates? I don't want to put that thought in their head. If they're not going to do it, why do I want to introduce that to them?
Okay. You got a point there.
Okay.
You're the one and last estimate they're gonna get.
That's right. We're the first and the last. Don't worry. We're the first and the last. All right. So let's talk about the inspection. Let's move ahead to the inspection. When I say that we're going to inspect the space together, what am I inspecting? What does this mean?
Scope.
Which room they're working on, and what kind of floors? If it's slab, if it's hard planks, or whatever the.
So I break this up into two categories, right? In the inspection, what is the current situation? And what is the future going to look like? All right, so my current situation. Well, this is what the subfloor is. Okay, that's great. This is what's currently installed, right? So what's there now? What's my current floor? Okay, and I want to know, how was it installed? Why do I want to know how it was installed?
Because you can tell to see if it was installed by a professional or a handyman.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's gonna determine.
It could impact your removal cost.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to impact the removal cost. Right, exactly. It's going to impact the removal cost. Okay. What else do I want to know about the current floor? Just about the current floor.
What they hate about it versus what they love about it.
Yeah. What do you like and not like? Okay.
Safety
So,
of
Alyssa, why is
removing
that
that
important?
floor. The safety of removing that floor.
Okay, there could be some safety concerns like around asbestos and that sort of thing. Alyssa, why is it important to understand what they like and don't like about the floor?
So you don't bring them the same, present to them the same product.
Okay, I'm going to go back to Alyssa.
Like example, right? If they have, we'll just say some sort of LVP that's coming up, right? But they have dogs and family and kids and things like that. They need it to be more durable. So why would you bring in an LVP? Because they may like the look of it because it has the wood look, but they don't like the durability that comes with it because it's not meeting their expectations.
Good, I love it, right? So I want to understand what is it that they like, because it might be that I can replicate what they like, but I also need to understand what they don't like so that I don't present something that will do the same thing, right? Okay, good. So what about the future state? Okay, well, the future state, I want to understand, what do you want your new floor to look like? What do you want it to feel like? And how long do you want it to last? Or I'm just going to call it durability. Durability, okay? What do you want it to look like? What do you want it to feel like? And how do you want it to last? And when I say how do you want it to last, I'm not talking about like 10 years, 20 years. I'm not talking about how long, but you know, how is this floor being used and how do you want it to last? How do you want it to function? What do you want the durability to look like? Okay. So I want to keep flooring really, really simple for you, for me, for the customers. Yeah, we can go into all kinds of technical details and jargon and whatever else, but for most people, it doesn't really matter. They just want a floor that looks good, that feels good, that they can keep clean, and that's going to last the way they want it to last. All right. It's up to us to make sure we're presenting the right type of product for the situation. It's up to us to understand our stuff and to be able to explain to the customer why we picked what we did.
One thing I tried to do on some of these, one thing I try to do, like you were saying, like, what do you like, what do you don't like? A question I've been trying to ask is, when they say, oh, I like this thing because it's whatever, it's easy to clean or something. Like, okay, in your new floor, what do you want to stay the same? Like, what features do you want to make sure you have in your old one that you have in your new one? Like, if it's soft carpet, do you want soft carpet? If it's easy to clean, are you making sure your new one's easy to clean?
Perfect. I love it. Okay. So when I think about the inspection, okay, this is the inspection. This is time to gather information. Okay. This is not the time to sell. And this is where I see a lot of people will make this mistake. You'll go into a house and they'll be like, oh, I love this, I love this carpet, but the dogs have accidents on it. And immediately you jump to the end and you're like, oh, that's great. It's not great that the dogs have accidents, but man, we've got a product that you're going to love. I've got this waterproof luxury vinyl plank, or I've got this carpet that, it's got all these great things on it. Okay, now all of a sudden you moved into selling mode. This is not the time for selling. This is the time to gather information, okay? Just absorb information. So we will get to presenting product. We will get to all that stuff. And you're going to see in the homework this week, you're going to start learning some of the features, advantages, and benefits of some of the products that we offer. But in this step, where are we? We're still at the very beginning of this thing. In this step, what have we done? We've gone from our setup call to the warm-up, and now we've moved to the inspection. This is not the time for selling. This is the time for absorbing information. Okay? All right. I'm going to switch screens here because I want to share with you. If you find it useful, use it. If you don't find it useful, well, you know what to do with it. So I want to switch over here. I'm going to send you this sheet. And these are just, these are step 2 questions. You don't have to use this. I would encourage you to, because it's a great way of having a sheet in front of you. You can put this on a clipboard and you can ask these questions. What am I trying to get what do you want the floor to look like? What do you want it to feel like? How do you want it to last? What is it that you're trying to accomplish with this space? What is it about the existing floors that makes you want to replace it? What is it about carpet that makes you want it instead of hardwood? Or what is it about, hardwood that makes you want it instead of tile, or whatever it is? When the project's complete, cleaned up, and all the furniture's back in place, what does it look like to you? Are you considering other spaces or projects? And then there's some technical details at the bottom. So this is just a cheat sheet to sort of give you some ideas about, this isn't every question you're ever going to ask, but these are good step 2 questions to help you absorb information, to help you see what's out there, okay? Now, I want to show you, something called the product selector. And this is on your tablet. So I make one more switch. Share my tablet screen. Getting all the technology today. Right, so from my tablet, I'm simply going to open up InspireNet. And I'm going to move through this pretty quick because of time and we're not going through all the tablet functionality today. But if I click on the 3 little lines at the top, you'll see something called a product selector. Now, this product selector is also available when you're working inside the tablet. If I click on product selector, oh, great. Oh, come on. Let me do this quickly. Promise we'll slow down on this step in the future, but today I've just got to get this in. Just drawing a quick space. My space info good enough. All right, so let's see. When I'm here and I'm going to set some install info, I've got a product selector button and it still gives me unauthorized. Okay, great. So that's
Hey, Arlen, mine's doing this. I've been in my InspireNet quite a bit this morning. Mine's doing the same thing.
All right, so that's a technical thing that I'll get with IT about and see what's going on with that. So in the meantime, I'll just show you on, I'd rather do this like with the live demo, but you know what? Sometimes the live demo doesn't do what I want it to do. So I always have a backup plan. So your product selector, there's 2 ways you can get to it. You can get to it in Salesforce, or you can get to it on your tablet, but this is essentially what it's going to look like. And you'll have your product selector for carpet, for hardwood, for LVP, laminate, and you'll be able to see the name of the products. You'll be able to see what type it is. In this case, this is a textured carpet. You'll see if it's a tonal fleck, if it's a solid carpet. You'll see what kind of width it comes in. And you'll see something called demo. And this column is really your features, advantages, and benefits column, okay? So when I think about features, advantages, and benefits, I'm sending you this. In fact, I already sent you this presentation. And we're skipping ahead, but remember, we're in step 2, so I'm not sharing this information with the customer yet, but I'm listening to what the customer has said they need their floor to do. And in my brain, I'm already thinking about, okay, I have these products that do the things you're talking about because that's where we need to go. All right, great. So FAB is the language we use. Feature is what the product has. The advantage is why it's better than our competitors. And the benefit is why it's better for the customer. All right. I'm going to come back to the flow later. I want to jump right into the FABs. So for example, lifeguard carpet. The feature is called a lifeguard carpet backing. That's the name of it. It's called lifeguard. That is the feature. The advantage, feature is just the name. It's like the title. The advantage is that it's the only waterproof carpet backing available. And that's still true. I don't care, you can go to Home Depot and look at their Life Proof. It's not the same as Lifeguard. Any competitor that's out there, the only one that has it is Shaw. Now, there are other companies that sell Shaw, don't get me wrong. You're not the only one that has access to LifeGuard, but Shaw is the only one that has the ability to make it. So if you see LifeGuard, you know it came from Shaw. It is the only waterproof carpet backing available. It is the strongest carpet backing, and it's non-abrasive. So those are the advantages. That's what makes it better than the competition. The benefits, build something on it, stains will not soak into the carpet pad below. They can't get all the way down to the subfloor. It makes it much easier to clean. So there's no, if something gets cleaned off of it, there's no wicking of the stain back into the carpet from the pad. The stain-proof warranty on this is it includes all pet stains. So the 3 P's of pet stains, pee, puke, and poop. It warranties all 3 of those, right? It's the strongest backing. It will never stretch. It will never wrinkle. It won't scratch baseboards during installation. Okay, so this is your LifeGuard carpet fab. Now, I'm not going to take the time to read all these to you. You've got the slides and you've got the ability to read for yourselves. R2X is a stain protection. That's great. So you've got a stain protection on this on R2X carpet. You've got soft back carpet. So soft back carpet will also not stretch and wrinkle. It is a soft backing that's been added to the back of a standard carpet, and so it's got an extra layer on the back of it, and as a result, it will not stretch or wrinkle. There's a new feature that Shaw has come out with called Color Guard, and Color Guard is really cool because it's bleach and fade resistant. So if you had a room that it's got a south-facing window that gets a lot of sun, all of a sudden you've got a carpet that's never going to fade. And okay, so I realize that nobody really on purpose cleans their carpet with bleach, but there's a lot of carpet cleaners out there that have bleach in them. And for customers that have teenage kids, a lot of acne medicine has bleach in it. And so, you know, you go into a teenager's bedroom and they've got these little spots on the carpet, there's a good chance that it's from acne medicine that's spilled out of the bottle. Then you've got scuff resist platinum finished hardwood. This gives the best scuffing and wear resistance on the market. You've got your premium luxury vinyl planks, armor bead finish, and there's information about armor bead. You've got information about laminate here. Now this is really cool, and these are fairly new. Again, you've got these, so you have these product video links. So when you click on one of these product video links, for example, let's just take a look at Color Guard. When I click on this link, it is going to open up a video that Shaw did. I'm not going to let it play all the way through, but it's going to open up a video that Shaw did about this carpet, and notice it's branded Floor Coverings International. So this is the girl from Shaw, and she goes through the whole thing, and she talks about, you know, these are the features and benefits and the cleaners and bleach and whatever else, and that's great. But I think one of the coolest things about this is that these are branded videos with floor cover. The Floor Coverings International logo is right there. So you actually have all of these links, and at your leisure, you can go in and watch these videos. But this is also a great thing to have, you know, on the ready, to be able to show a customer this is what this product does. And then of course you've got porcelain versus ceramic tile. The other thing, any questions about these? I know I moved through this quick, but I know we're getting close on time, and I don't want to overrun us, at least not too bad.
I just like to share this experience from previous job that I did on the dye solution. I used to ask the customer if they have bleach, and I will just put some bleach on it, and that was like they would be like impressed because they've never seen it, and they will most likely decide on that product if they're looking for the carpet, and they'll decide on that over anything else. And so that
Good.
was a
I like
thrilling
that.
tool for me.
Yep, doing actual live product demos in the home is I love them. I absolutely love them. All right, the other thing that you're going to see in the slides here, and I'll send this to you, is your product installation cheat sheet. And essentially, this is going to help you, I'm going to say 98% of the time. There's still going to be the occasional floor that you look at and you're not sure what you can do with it. For example, you know, could I nail or staple hardwood down to plywood? Yes. Could I do it on OSB? Yes. Could I do it on particle board? No, I can't. Could I nail or staple hardwood to concrete? No, I can't. And so I'm going to look at this, you know, if I have some doubts about what I can and can't do, I'm going to refer back to this product installation cheat sheet. So I'm going to send this to you as well so that you have that on board. All right, so let's talk a little bit about homework and where are we going for next week. So between now and next week, I want you to learn the company story slide content. Now, let me be really, really clear here. I know that on Floor 11, in fact, last week I sent you the link of how to get to Floor 11 so that you could download the company story. I hope you've done that. The download version has a script. I don't want you to memorize a script. In no way, shape, or form do I want you to memorize that script. What I do want you to do is read the script and understand from the slide, what is the main point on this slide? What am I trying to communicate on this slide? And then put it in your own words. So, you know, we've got, what have we got? Like 25 people on this call. There should be 25 different versions of how to do the My Job slide. It should not all sound the same, okay? I do want you to, using the slides that are here, use the slides that are here and learn the features, advantages, and benefits for hardwood and laminate and LVP. We'll do carpet next week, but if you would go ahead and start to learn the features, advantages, and benefits that I sent you for hardwood, laminate, and LVP, that'll help. Keep getting those ride-alongs, keep getting the reference list pictures, keep working on that stuff. So for your homework, in Floor U, you've got all the week 2 material. You've got the Salesforce stuff to go through. Go ahead and start adding content to the slides on the company story. Memorize the fab for hardwood, laminate, and LVP. Get those ride-alongs. Franchise owners, your goal is to at least get a few ride-alongs before launch. I mean, it won't be 25, but get some anyway. And go ahead and get those reference list pictures. So there's your, I don't know why I've got this in here twice, but there it is twice because it's that important, I suppose. Your next call, we're back together again next Wednesday from 1 to 3, and we will practice. We're going to start adding content to the company story. If you missed today, today's makeup word is space race. So you can come back to this and you can let me know that you've watched to this point. And Jesse, while you guys were in the breakout room, found a place called Sweet Action. And it is truly, it's on East 19th Avenue.
Thank you.
So on Google Maps, this is an old picture because on Google Maps, this shows frozen matter, but it's not called that anymore. It's called, according to Google anyway, it's called Sweet Action. It's an ice cream shop. And it is, the address for it, it's on 19th Avenue, and it is, 530 East 19th Avenue. So,
sweet, thank you.
Fun little place to go. All right, questions, comments?
No, thank you guys.
What's that, Mike?
So no questions right now, but thank you guys for helping get me up to speed here.
Good stuff.
Yeah, can you send me please the link for the floor 101, please?
I'm sorry, send you what?
The link for floor 101.
Yep, I'll send the links again, so that you've got that.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, good. Well, thank you guys for being on the call today. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. I will personally be in Atlanta next week, so I don't know, for me it feels different when I'm working out of the office there versus being here. But nevertheless, we'll still get we'll get a good class together. So looking forward to seeing you next week.
Good, thank you.
Take care, guys.
Thanks. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you.
See you next week. Across the hall, Arlen.
Yep.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.